Just how much is American citizenship worth? $5 million apparently. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that the U.S. will sell gold cards to wealthy foreigners priced at $5 million. Those who pay would have the right to work in America and be on a direct path to citizenship. Here's Trump speaking from the Oval Office.
Wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before or anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks out? Do you want to say?
2 weeks.
Standing next to the president, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick explained that the gold cards would replace the government's EB-5 immigrant investor visa program, which grants green cards. The 1992 program allows foreign investors to funnel money into U.S. projects that create jobs. Investing under the green card program is cheaper. According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the standard minimum investment amount has increased to $1.8 million, up from $1 million to account for inflation. The gold card program would be open to the oligarchs as well.
On that gold card, getting back to that, I'm fascinated by this, Mr. President.
You should be fascinated by it. Your taxes will go down to nothing.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible.
Reactions are running rampant on social media. Conservative X-account Autism Capital, love that name, wrote, quote, "Instead of green card lotteries, they want to help eliminate the deficit by letting people buy their way in. This attracts money, job creators, high-level talent." But liberal comedian Jason Selvig wrote on X, quote, "Trump is offering gold cards for wealthy people instead of green cards. Give me your tired, your rich, your huddled masses of oligarchs." I don't know. Sounds.
He messed up that quote, didn't he?
Yeah. What's the actual? Yeah,
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Yes. Well, a poem is not in the Constitution, unfortunately, but I am totally fine. I agree with this Trump plan.
Of course you are, Robby.
Why not let wealthy people who want to buy citizenship and then contribute and make our country a wealthier, more successful place do that? I want to drain the rest of the world, particularly rival countries like China and Russia, drain them of their talent and their money by having their prominent, prosperous citizens come here. What's wrong with that?
So first of all, I think we should revisit this discussion exactly 6 months from now.
Okay.
Because I think what you're going to find is there's not exactly a long line of very wealthy people trying to take advantage of this offer that Donald Trump has just laid on the table. And why is that? Because here in the United States, we actually tax people a whole lot more, and we tax people on their global income. So I don't think the people who could actually take advantage of a $5 million get into the U.S. card are going to be lining up at the door to get in.
Actually, you may be right about that, but you know what I'm going to say to that. I want to reduce the taxes on those people. I want to make it a no-brainer for successful, rich, smart people who contribute to society, who build companies, who hire people, who create value for others. I want them to all want desperately to live in the United States so that we can be an economic superpower or maintain our position as the world's preeminent economic superpower, not through military strength, not through beating up other countries, not through, whatever autarky where we shut everything down and just try to rely on our own. No, we can trade and engage with others, but we want them to be able to come here. I'm all for that. The criticism, I think, on the right of is having, chain migration of people whose needs who are taking more than they're contributing, who are going to overrun the welfare system or the housing system or things like that. Wealthy, productive people, we should want them in the U.S., right?
We should want wealthy, productive people in the U.S., but we should also be doing what we've done from the roots of our country and welcoming those huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I'm joking with you, but it's actually deeply personal, right? My parents came to this country with nothing but the clothes on their backs, yearning for their piece of the American dream because they were escaping war.
Where did they
in
come
Vietnam.
From Vietnam.
And I feel like I'm a great example of them achieving the American dream.
No, I agree with
being
that.
Productive person that you're hoping for. I mean, I think at the end of the day, this discussion is the same as the others that we've been having, which is what do we value as a nation? What do we plan to do with those poor and persecuted who are at our gates because we have always been, as Ronald Reagan would say, that beacon on the hill?
No, so I agree with that. We can take, yes, the persecuted, who want to come here and work productively. And you're right, not everybody needs to be a scientist or a billionaire creator or something. We need people who want to work, who want to build a new life for themselves, contribute. You start out at the low level, and then as immigration success stories, right? Then the next generation does even better, and the next generation does even better. I am absolutely all in favor of that, totally in favor of that, and I think the American people are as well, as long as they don't perceive that it's immigrants who are just coming here and then need welfare or need all these things provided from them. That was obviously not the case for so many immigrants who have come to this country from Vietnam or from other places in Asia or from other places south of the border or from Europe. We have so many great examples of wonderful immigrant communities. Most of us are descended from some immigrant community or the other. My ancestors are Italians and Germans who came over, and the Italians came over in the early 1900s, the Germans a little bit before that. And and they were spit upon and hated by the people who lived here, and there's tensions, and then that improves over time, and you become part of the success story of America. I'm all for that process.
Yeah, I mean, I just think fundamentally we are stronger because we are a nation of immigrants. We are stronger because we are diverse. By the way, that welfare, those social safety nets, those were critical as a stepping stone for my family, and I'm sure many, many others, in order to become people who were holding down jobs and being able to survive and pay for housing and pay for food. I mean, I think the immigrant experience is often vilified under this administration. It certainly was during the first Donald Trump administration, and I think that's part of the reason we just have to be really, really careful. I would hate to see us deny our roots and also to deny the strength that comes from immigrants coming to this country.
Yeah, look, I am more for immigration than many other people on the right, or I lean more in a pro-immigration place than where a lot of the energy is among Republicans right now. So, which just means that I think advocates of a more open immigration system just frankly need to pick their battles because of where the public attitude is on this issue. Donald Trump obviously ran on and won on restricting certainly illegal immigration, doing more to curb immigrant violence and things of that nature. Now, again, I am for making it possible for people to come here who want to come here, who share our values, who are fleeing communism and authoritarianism, who want to start families and want to work. I am absolutely for that, but I think it needs to be sold on that basis, that people are going to come here and they're going to do work, and they are going to make us a more prosperous society, and that is a good thing, and that's the way it's always worked. That's what America is built upon, but that needs to be the pitch, that it's best for the nation. It's best for all of us, not just best for the immigrants, in order to make it persuasive to people who want to get on board with that.
Yeah, you know what I think was really interesting during the electoral cycle, Robby, was that when you asked potential Latino and Black voters, for example, what did they think about some of the things that Donald Trump was saying on the campaign trail? On the immigration issue in particular, Latino voters were like, yeah, but he's not talking about me, right? Even if they were immigrants themselves, he's not talking about me. So clearly the right is winning in how it is staging the argument about immigration and potential immigration reform, and that's one place that Democrats should really buck up and tell these stories. Maybe they should be tuning into you, Robby.
Oh, maybe. Well, up next, we will be discussing at great length my favorite topic of the day, Star Wars. Stay tuned. There it is. We'll be back.